There you are.
Uh-oh. All right, what do I need to do?
Nothing. We're in. We're rocking and rolling. So we are live and running.
Microphone.
So welcome.
Can you hear me?
You can't hear me?
Can't hear you. Hold on. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Okay, hold on. I have to turn up my volume. All right.
You hear me?
Say something.
Hello.
Hello. Say again.
Hello.
Hold on. All right. Can you hear me okay, though?
I hear you perfectly, yeah.
Okay, I have to turn it up. I have equipment. I'm in a room that has some equipment running, so hopefully it won't mess things up.
No problem.
But it was either this or stay in the house. So I moved to this building.
No problem.
Okay.
Hello.
So how are we doing this? Hi, how are you?
Hi. I'll do like kind of interview style. Well, we can talk too, but tell people who you are and what you're doing this weekend for the convention.
Hi, I'm Kori Miller, and I am the host of Back Porch Writer. It is a live podcast that happens every Tuesday on Blog Talk Radio. And in addition to that, I co-host Indie Author Hour, also every Tuesday, but that's on Blab.im. And so what I decided to do during this convention, the Brain to Books convention, is to offer Blab interviews via the Back Porch Writer Show. And so that's what everybody can look forward to from my end anyway, is doing the Back Porch Writer Show over on Blab, which should be really fun because I've never hosted it over on that platform at all. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. It starts tonight. I've got some people, 2 people scheduled for tonight so far. One is a guy named Tom and the other one is Heidi. So Tom's up first at 7:30 Central Time.
Awesome.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. And it's all weekend. So I've got people scheduled for Saturday and for Sunday. And there's a spot that they can go on the Goodreads fairground area where they can find out when people are scheduled. And you won't know exactly what they're talking about. That's not listed there, I don't think, but they're all authors. So you'll get a nice surprise.
How long are the chats?
They would probably go anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. It kind of depends on the personality of that author and how far they want to go, I guess. But most of them are designed to go 30 minutes at a shot. So on Saturday, I've got them starting, well, I've got one starting at 8 o'clock and goes to 8:30. But then after that, they start at 9 and are back to back until, I think 11:30 or something. I forgot to schedule in a break for myself.
You know how that feels.
Like, oops.
Yeah,
I just noticed that.
I've been going since 4 o'clock this morning. So.
Oh.
But I had a little bit of a break, but.
Well, I dashed back here. I actually got called into sub. I'm a substitute teacher.
Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's been kind of fly by the seat of your pants day anyway. So
yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah. So you got 2 interviews tonight, and then you're gonna do some more tomorrow.
Right.
Talk about your podcast a little bit and what what people can expect. What do you talk about on especially on the Indie Author Hour? You guys have had some interesting guests.
Yeah, we've done, well, Back Porch Writer, I'll start there. Back Porch Writer is a show for writers about writers and writing. And I've been doing that for just over 3 years. And so I interview anyone that has anything to do with the writing industry. So that could be authors, it could be a blogger, it could be an editor, a publicist, marketing person, just about anything that fits under that umbrella. So it's a pretty big umbrella. Indie Author Hour, on the other hand, I co-host that with another author named Hardy LaBelle. And we're a really good team because he's been focusing on nonfiction and I focus on fiction. And it really is us talking about what it's like to be an author, up and coming author, trying to get your platform built, the tools that are out there, what we try, what works, what doesn't work. We spent several episodes talking about Facebook ads, for example. But we've had, I think, one person come on so far for an interview on that program. Not that we're opposed to interviews on Indie Author Hour. That's just the way it's worked out so far.
Yeah.
And we had a woman named Kathy Mice come on. She's been on the Back Porch Writer Show too. She's the founder of Publish, which is an awesome platform for authors. And so we wanted her to come on and talk about Publish because we both use Publish. I got Hardy to start using it. So it's a neat platform. But that's what both shows are kind of about. And for Hardy and I, it's a nice way to connect with other people. Blab is a platform that allows anybody in the world to come into it. And so you can have people just watching, lurking. You can have people in the chat room. You can have people come to the virtual, what I call the table, because you can have up to 4 people in there at one time. And you can lock seats and stuff like that. So it's an interesting platform to use. And so I anticipate that Hardy and I we've had other people come in there because of that. So you're talking about, well, we had other guests. It's not that. It's that they were actually watching the Blab and had a question. And then we said, oh, come on in, come in. So they ended up at the table. So we have a few regular people who have come on and done that. One of them, I think, is out of England, in fact, and he's been on a couple of times because he looks for the show every Tuesday. And so that's how he ended up on the show. So that's what it is. And it's fun.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say, do you find that people are genuinely polite when that there's an etiquette to Blab that people respect and follow usually?
I would say generally that's been our experience. We've had in the beginning, we had a few little blips of people. We allowed people to hop in, and they really sidetracked us. So we've gotten better about that. But both of us, I think it's because we didn't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Sure. But now we've gotten a little bit better as hosts on that platform. And so I'm not opposed to locking seats, and I'm not opposed to saying, you know what, that's a bit off topic and moving on. And so we do things like that. You can also, one of the things that's cool about that platform, you can record and pause the recording. So if something's going awry, you can pause and then restart. And then when it goes to, I upload to YouTube, which I can do directly from that platform. And I put it over on our YouTube channel for Indie Author Hour, and it cuts all that stuff out. So some video magic happens. And it just all comes together the way it's supposed to. I don't know how that works. That's not my expertise.
Does Blab have any time limit?
I have not encountered a time limit yet, so I'm hoping tomorrow I don't encounter a time limit, because that means I'll be like coming out and redoing it. Like I'll have to come out, reestablish a Blab, and then so I'm hoping that won't happen. And I don't think it will, because
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You froze, Kori. I can't hear you or see you. And the awkward silence of me just being here alone. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Completely frozen. I can't see or hear you at all. I don't think the audience can as well, but very interesting and awkward. But yeah, to what Kori was saying about Blab, it's very interactive and very user friendly. I just went on this week for the first time and played around with it, and it was it's very interesting. It's very cool, and there's a lot of social chatting going on there, but there's a lot of professional things going on there too. It's a really cool platform if you're trying to establish yourself as a video artist or a vlogger or a blogger or a podcaster. Even because everything gets recorded and you can upload it to YouTube, as she was saying. That's what she does with her videos, and it does a lot of that. So it's very cool. It's a very interesting idea. And I think it's like I said, it's user friendly, so it's very easy to handle and get around, and it's really good for a novice who doesn't have the experience of encoding or anything like that, because it takes care of all that for you. As she was saying, it pauses the video and it helps you self-edit, kind of what filmmakers call editing camera. It kind of edits in chat. So that's a pretty cool feature. There's Kori back.
I am back. I have no idea what happened.
I don't either.
It went
You froze
completely
and then disappeared.
what? And it was telling me on my end my connection was lost. I'm like, no, it's not. I can see it says it's fine. And I believe it when it tells me that all the time.
Yeah.
It's always right.
Sorry.
So that was weird. I have no idea what happened. Well, I didn't know if it was on my end or your end, because I'm out in the country, so it could just be on my end, and I have no idea.
I was still going. I was talking awkwardly and while you were gone. So I was telling people about my experience. I was telling the audience that I just signed up for Blab, and I played around with it a lot, and found it very user friendly and very easy to use.
Yeah, it is. It's a relatively the one thing people need to be aware of, and maybe you mentioned it, is that you need to be you have to have a Twitter account, because it connects. It does connect that way. So that's important. If you participate in a Blab, then you definitely need a headset or earbuds or something, because it helps with the feedback echo stuff. So, and that's if you're going to be on that table, is what I'm saying. If you're just there lurking or you're in the chat room, you don't need that stuff. But if you plan to talk with the people that are there, then you need to have some sort of headset or earbuds to help with that, because otherwise you end up hearing your voice through their speakers.
And how does it work from your end when somebody wants to get into the Blab? Do they just hit the button and say, "Can I come in"? Is that kind of how it works, or how does it work?
On their end, they hit some button, and then on my end, I see that they want to come in, and I either allow or I don't. And then they can come into the Blab, the live, virtual table thing. And then if something's going awry, if like somebody was rude, let's say that happened, I can kick them out. I can just boot them off, which is kind of a nice feature. So you can do that. You can mute people. You can mute yourself. You can, like I said, I just mentioned the pause and the record thing. You can actually change topic too. So if you are on a topic, there's a way to say, "Oh, our topic has changed," and then move and change your topic right there. I haven't done that, but I know that that's a feature that it has. Haven't had a reason to really do that yet.
What got you started in this world? Why did you take this route to do these things?
The podcasting?
Yeah.
That was because I live in the country, and I'm not around a lot of other authors and writers or writing workshops or anything like that. And when I decided I wanted to really pursue this as a career path, I needed to get more information quickly. And I found out the best way to do that was to create a podcast and call it, the show for writers about writing, and then just bring them to me. And so that's essentially what it was. It's, if you can't go to a conference, this would be a good thing to do. Listen to the show, because I talk to so many different authors and industry people that you can get a lot of information. I love talking to the authors because they give you so many great ideas about marketing, that they're trying. And so that's always fun to chat with them about. So it's not just talking with them about their book and about their writing. It's, what are you doing that's working? What are you doing that's not working? And why aren't you doing that? And how do you handle reviews? When you get a really sucky review, what do you do? That sort of thing. So that's really what got me into it, was that I was trying to improve my own writing and just pursue an author career. And now, over 3 years later, I'm still doing it. It's still a lot of fun, and I'm still learning a lot. I just reformatted the show to give it even more of a focus on marketing from authors' perspectives, because I really like that topic.
Nice. And to tell people about your own writing. What have you written? What have you got going on?
I focus right now, my focus is mystery thrillers for adults. So I write sinfully scandalous mystery thrillers. And when I work on children's or middle grade, I create memorable adventures. But there's still, when it comes to middle grade, there's still a mystery element to it. But for the children's books, no, that's just different. So this year and last year, I've been focusing on the mystery thrillers for adults. And so my book Hush came out in November last year. And I was really excited because March this year, it got a reader's favorite 5-star review. So I was really thrilled about that. And it's gotten some other good reviews. It has gotten one wonky one, and I just went, yeah, okay, moved on. And then just last night I put, and actually Hush is available right now as a promo. I mean, it's got a promo deal going on for like 99 cents because I have my second book in the series. It's the Desiree Jackson mystery thriller series. I just put it out yesterday as a pre-order, the second book. And so people can pre-order that. And if I recall correctly, I'm kind of tired, but I think I put the pre-order at 99 cents too. So, quite a deal there.
For a limited time, I would assume.
Yeah, for a limited amount of time, because I'm going to, the pre-order is for, I think, a 2-week period, and then it'll go back up to its regular price, and the regular price is $2.99. So it really is a good deal to get the pre-order price at 99 cents for the second book, and you could snatch up Hush at 99 cents right now. I have that deal going until, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. So if you go over to Amazon, that's where you can get that, or to Kobo for the 99-cent Hush deal. Because I list my books in Amazon, Kobo, iTunes, Nook. It's pretty much everywhere. You can go where you want to go and find the book. So that's what I'm doing.
I'm sorry. Are you doing ebook, just ebook, or you have paperback as well?
I actually do both. And I haven't done the paperback for the second book, which is called North Downing.
Mm-hmm.
I really was just trying to get the ebook ready. So I tend to usually I do them both same time, but my schedule's been crazy. So the ebook is ready and up for the pre-order versus the other ones, the print version for North Downing's not ready yet, but it will be shortly after I get everything else, all my other ducks in a row. And I already started working. I'm on the third book right now. So I'm writing the third book, and I'm writing a YA novel based on a character that showed up in one of my Desiree Jackson short stories. So I'm writing a lot, which is good.
Right on. Are you finding that the podcasting has helped with your readership volume too? Have people responded that become fans of your podcast that you're building?
I don't hear from people. I really don't hear from people. It's the weirdest thing. And I know people listen to the show because I can see stats and stuff. So I know people are listening to the show, and I know that it's like any other author. I have a very difficult time getting my mailing list, higher than what it is.
Sure.
It's just a challenge to do it. And there's not a lot of crossover. So like my Back Porch Writer people are not necessarily crossing over and following my personal writing stuff, because that's not why they're listening to the show. They're not listening to learn about Kori. They're there to listen and learn about what it's like to be an author and what can I do. So there's not, from what I can tell, there's not a huge amount of crossover with that, which is cool. That's not a big deal. It's not why I did it. So I'm cool with that. But it'd be nice, but no. I would say no.
How about, you mentioned that Blab and Twitter work in conjunction with one another. Have you noticed an uptick in your Twitter followers from the blabbing?
Honestly, I actually don't pay attention to it. And I know that seems weird, but I came late to Twitter. I never really liked Twitter. And so the last couple of years, I've forced myself to really pay more attention to Twitter. But what I don't pay attention to so much is followers. And I don't pay attention to that with Facebook, and I just don't. And I get a lot of interaction in terms of tweets and retweets and things like that, which is cool. But I've got 3 different Twitter accounts that are going around doing stuff because I've Back Porch Writer, my personal one, K Miller Writes, and then Cover Counter Run, because I actually have another podcast, and that podcast is The Womanly Art of Self-Defense. So it's again totally different audience of people. And the people that follow me on that, because it's really new, I started it in January, those are podcasters mostly that follow me for my Twitter account, that I can tell are podcasters. They're not people that are involved in martial arts or anything like that, which is kind of funny. But that's what I've noticed anyway about that. So I just keep plugging away and doing stuff, and eventually the followers increase, and I know that, but I don't pay a lot of attention to it.
Awesome.
I know, strange. I just don't. I don't have time. I spend most of my time writing or putting together podcasts or teaching. So that's where my energy is spent.
Were you a full-time teacher at one point, or you just always been a substitute?
No, I started substitute teaching this school year, actually, because we have a local small school that needed help. And I just said, okay, I'll see if I have the qualifications to get the certification to do that. And I did. And then I started substitute teaching. Because my schedule is so flexible, except for on Tuesdays, my schedule is pretty flexible. And so they can call me in at the last minute, and they know that. And so, I get called in at, teacher suddenly gets sick. Can you come in? I'm like, yeah, I probably can, as long as it's not on Tuesday. Because I can usually adjust stuff.
I remember we were having a meeting and you were like in there for a second, and then you go, I gotta go.
I gotta go. Yeah. Because they called me in, and it was an incident where a teacher was ill. She suddenly got ill, and they needed somebody to come in. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can come in. It's not a big deal. My background's training and development originally. And so I'm used to teaching other people and coming in and not knowing what I'm supposed to do and then figuring it out very quickly and then doing it. So I'm used to that. And I've owned my own business, my own tea company for over 12, 13 years.
What type of business? I'm sorry, I missed that.
A tea business, a tea company. Tea that you drink? Yeah. Tea.
Yeah.
That's my.
You create your own?
I do all my own custom blending. And so the teas can't be grown in this area. That's not doable. So it's an import sort of scenario. And then I do a lot of blending. I've got over 100 different custom blends of teas, actually. I've been doing it for so long. Yeah.
Find that?
Well, that's the funny thing. This year I decided to step back from it a little bit. And so I'm dialing back on the tea business. If someone wanted a custom blend, the best way that they could find out about that is to go over to Facebook and look for Tea Trove, Nebraska on Facebook, because I actually even have the website in maintenance mode right now because I have things I have to do. So if they just go over to Facebook, I'll be putting deals over there and things like that. That's what my customers already know. So that's actually the area where I have an idea of who's following me, and most of them are Nebraskans over on my Facebook page. I have customers for my tea business all over the place, but a lot of the Facebook people are Nebraskans because they're looking for blends that they've been buying from me for almost 13 years or something. So they know they can go there and just send me a message, and I'll respond right away, and then I'll come into my blending building, which is where I am right now, and do some blending.
You seem to have that captured indie spirit, even about entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur and everything like that. Is that how you've always, envisioned your publishing career going, as you just wanted to be indie from the start, or were you looking at traditional publishing to begin with?
I was looking at traditional publishing, and I'm not opposed to it at all. What I was trying to traditionally publish in the beginning were my children's stories, and I was having a really hard time with that. Just finding an agent and all that, and I was getting the usual rejection letters. But when I started to receive rejection letters that were positive rejection letters, that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to do this myself. And it wasn't even my first indie published book. Actually wasn't my children's book. It was a book of essays, nonfiction, because I had just learned about this ebook thing. I attended a local conference, first time ever, from the Nebraska Writers Guild that I went to, and somebody there was talking about ebooks, and I didn't know what the heck an ebook was. I was like, what are you talking about? So immediately I had to figure out what this was, and I had a series of essays that some of them had already been published, and then I wrote a few more, and I put them all together and said, I'm going to figure out how to do this. And I put it out, and the formatting was horrible. I first to admit that. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and that's all right, because, you can fix that. And so I did it the first time, and it was really so I could figure out how to do the self-publishing thing and how to format books and all that jazz. Learned that I hate formatting, still to this day. I hate formatting. I was doing that last night really late. I hate formatting stuff. And so that was the first thing. And then, like I said, when I got those positive rejection letters, I went, hey, I guess I'll just do this myself. And I hired a person to do the illustrations for me because I can't draw. That's not a skill in my skill set. I can do stick figures and whatnot, but I can't make a ferret. And the main character in the particular book I was doing was a ferret. So that's how that happened. But I look at everything and say, okay, would it be in my best interest to find an agent for this particular work or not? And so that's how I approach all the different pieces of what I'm doing from a writing perspective. If I think I can do it just as well, if not better, then why would I go to an agent? But if I think they really could get eyes on it, then that would be the reason to go, from my perspective, go that direction. So I don't rule things out automatically. but I like being independent because I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I like doing my own thing.
Yeah, there's a certain ingrained spirit, I think, in people, and that spirit, I think, has to be there. Otherwise, I know a lot of people will attempt it and want to be their own boss and do their own thing, but I think there's really something ingrained in you deep down inside that really you force yourself to, bring that out and have that, you go with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You have to understand that you've got to do everything initially. I mean, and I think you have to have a really good grasp on where your skill set is, and where it's not. So me saying right off the cuff, I can't draw. That's not my skill set. So that means I have to hire an illustrator, and I have to find illustrators that will work. Same thing comes with cover design. I cannot do my own covers. I have tried. They suck. So I don't do that. That's just not, I don't have an eye for it. And I know that. And so there's things that I'm willing to hire out without a doubt. And even in my tea company, I've done similar stuff. If the marketing side, sometimes I don't want to learn a certain aspect of it, and I'll have someone else do it. Generally I like marketing though, so I'm willing to figure that stuff out. So probably not the best example, but still, it's knowing where your skills are and what you're willing to spend time on versus not spend time on, and how long will it take you to do those things. The Blab and the Back Porch Writer stuff, the reason I started with Blog Talk Radio for the show was because I didn't want to learn what I call real podcasting, and their platform is super simple, right? I was really intimidated. I mean, Blog Talk Radio is really easy to use. Well, after doing that for almost 3 years, I said, I'm going to do a podcast the more traditional way, because I was feeling more comfortable and more confident about it. So I now know more about microphones, and not everything, mind you, but I know more about microphones and equipment now than I certainly did 3 years ago when I was doing it. I know more about editing audio. I haven't tried video yet, really, but I know more about audio and how to edit the audio and play with the audio. Not everything, mind you. Audacity's got a lot to it. But, it's those things. But I'm willing to learn those things because that's fun for me. But like some stuff I'm not willing to learn, don't want to do. Formatting, I hate. I really hate. So I use a book template from Joel Friedlander. He is the book designer, and he has book templates, and I purchase the templates and put my stuff in the template. That's one way I do it. There's other ways I can do it to make it less of a headache.
Do you do research? Do you listen to other podcasts to kind of get an idea of how you can improve on your podcasting?
Yeah, I do. I listen to a ton of podcasts because I also don't watch TV. And so I listen to a lot of audiobooks and podcasts, and I have them. I use Stitcher on my phone, and so I have them neatly divided into categories. And some are marketing, and some are psychology and behavior, and some, because I use that for my writing and podcasting actually. And then I have some that are motivational, comedy, because you got to have that once in a while, right? And then I have some that are specifically that are podcasts that teach me to be a better podcaster, like the Audacity podcast or She Podcast. Those are some of the ones I listen to. And then there's a handful of writing ones that I love to listen to. One is the Author Biz Show. Stephen Campbell does that show, and I love listening to I listen to him because I love the show, but I also love his style. And so I like listening to him from a podcasting perspective because I can learn how he does what he does. And I like that. He's really cool. So I listen to him for two different reasons. And then I listen to the Sell More Book Show pretty much every week. And Brian Cohen and Jim, whose last name is at the tip of my tongue and I'm forgetting now, have that show. And it's got a great following from what I understand. But it's a fun show to listen to. Just not for their podcasting style. It's the content, because it has to do with writing and selling more books, obviously.
Publish your podcast? Those guys?
I listened to the ones who just did the summit, the Smarter Artist Summit. Yeah, I listened to them. And I listened to the audiobook that they had, Write, Repeat, right? Publish, Repeat, right? You see, I'm blanking on the name. But I listened to that too. I enjoy them. I think they're fun. But there's a lot. I listened to Joanna Penn's podcast, The Creative Pen. Not every week, just depends on what her topic is, So there's a lot, and I'm always looking for more, because that's one of the main ways I consume content is podcasts, or audiobooks. But the audiobooks I listen to are all nonfiction. when I'm listening to audiobooks, because it's research for me.
Sure.
It's all about research when I'm doing that. So yeah, I do a lot of that. That's what I do. I'm kind of geeky. I'm a geeky introverted writer. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, but in order to be good at something, you have to experience what people who are good at it do, because it doesn't make any sense if you're just doing it and you never grow from it.
Right. Right. You know, and I was fortunate in the beginning because I also have a father whose background is broadcast journalism. And so when I first started, it helps. When I first started Back Porch Writer, he would listen to the show and give me feedback on what I was doing. And I made improvements based on what he said. You know, I do listen to him. He's got that whole background thing I should listen to. So I listen to him. He also happens to be an editor. So I'm very fortunate from that perspective too, that I can go to him for that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm constantly looking at ways that I can improve either as a writer or as a podcaster. You know, how do I make this better? How do I make it more entertaining or more informative, whatever the case may be, is what I try and do. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, that's the bottom line for me. It really is a lot of fun to do, and it's great interacting with all the other people. Yeah,
I mean, to do what you love is the dream, right? I mean, that's just how it is, you know. Yeah. Enjoying it every day.
Absolutely. I mean, there's really no point in my view doing it any other way. Yeah. Because I have one life. From my perspective. I mean, I know other people have other beliefs, and that's cool. I happen to believe that I have one life, and I'm going to live it to the fullest. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. And I'm going to make sure my kids can see that that is what's possible, that you can see something, go after it, and make it happen for yourself is really important to me, because I role model that, you know, and it's not just my kids who get to see that being role modeled. And so that sort of stuff is really important to me.
So tell everybody where they can find these podcasts that are going to happen for.
Okay. For this convention, go over to blab.im, and you can look for my name, Kori Miller / Back Porch Writer. That might be one really easy way to do it, actually. Or just go over to Goodreads and look for, you know, the Brain to Books Fairgrounds. Look for that, and then there's a listing, and maybe you know the name of it, but there's a listing that shows you everything that's kind of going on, and you'll see a list of the different links that are there, because the links will be different. So there's two ways basically you can do it. You could just go directly to Blab.im and look for me, or you could go to Goodreads and the fairgrounds and
you have your Blab name something so that people can search for it if they
It's the Back Porch Writer Show.
Okay.
So that's really all they have to look for is Back Porch Writer Show, and hopefully it will just pop up. Going well, fingers crossed, it'll just pop up.
I found that was pretty easy. I found you fairly easy.
Well, good.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for people. And what you were talking about is the mapping, actually, that CC Rogers did on her site. She mapped everything out. So
that was so awesome.
It's really easy to use. People can just go right there, click on the maps, and boom, everything's up. So cool. Well, I really thank you, Kori, for this.
You're welcome.
I know that you're going to turn the tables on me tomorrow, so I'm really excited about
3 o'clock my time, and we'll be on Blab.
Yes.
So everybody will get to see that.
Well, I'll let you go so you can get ready for your stuff. I know you're about ready to.
Thanks. Have a great one.
All right. Thanks, Kori. Bye.
See ya.